Hi, my name is Peter McCracken, and I'm the creator of ShipIndex.org. During the day, I'm a librarian at one of the largest academic libraries in the country. I combined my library skills and my maritime history interest to create ShipIndex.org. The goal of ShipIndex.org is to make maritime history research easier to do, particularly when searching for ships. Through these videos, I'll show you how to do maritime history research and how to do vessel research, not just through ShipIndex.org, but also through using resources available at libraries or on the web or in books. I hope these make maritime history research easier for you. Let's dive in. Now, you've seen how to search for ships through our introductory video. There's so much more that you can do when searching ShipIndex, however. So here's some sort of basic advanced search approaches, and then we'll look at a specific example that uses more advanced searches, plus we'll talk about some of the really wonky stuff. Any of these search terms can be used in the free database, which contains about 150,000 citations, or in the full database, which has over 3.2 million citations. When you search the free database, your searches will identify citations in the full database, but it won't display them. This may be most useful just when searching the full database, but give it a try on the free one, if you like. So first, remember that when you search for a ship name, your initial results show only the citations that exactly match that search. If you search for Union, you'll see nearly 3,000 citations for ships named only Union. If you click on See Other Matching Ships, you'll see hundreds of other ships which have the word Union somewhere in their name or in a citation. As I said, note that a few of these have Union in the name of the ship, like Art Union, or Arts Union, or Asia Union. In all other cases, there's a citation that has the word Union in it. For example, American Fidelity comes from Union, New Jersey. Let's see, Aros Castle. Let's try this. Do a find for Union, and here we find is Castle and Union Castle lines. So if you don't see it immediately, use that find function in your browser. If there are more than 100 results for the ship name, those results, they'll continue onto a later page, so the term you're searching for might not appear on the first page. It might even take quite a few pages before you actually find it. Now, let's narrow this down a bit. The ShipIndex search engine uses some truly bonkers search terms. I'm afraid you have to get used to these if you want to make the most of the database. If you add the term @ship_name in front of the ship name, say Union, you'll remove all of the citations that don't have Union in the name. So we removed many, and all of these now have Union inside the name of the vessel. This is a help, but let's say we'd like to narrow it down a bit more. You can use the caret sign, that's this, or you can use the $sign to limit your search to having the word that you use either at the start or the end of the ship name. So if I do *Union, I'll only find ships that start with the word Union. And you don't need to use the @ship_name because it assumes that you're only interested in ship names here. If I do Union $, it will show me only ships whose name ends in the word Union. If we do this with Castle, Castle $, for example, we'll get all of these ships that end in the word Castle. Another thing that you can use is an asterisk when you have at least 2 letters in the word to search for parts of the word. So let's say we can do a star, asterisk or star, STLE. We find a lot of ships, so actually a lot of these don't have the STLE in the name because we are not, in this case, narrowing it to the ship name. So let's limit it to ship_name, ship name, and then star STLE. So what we're finding is a lot of vessels where where they end in STLE, and it's not just Castle. It might be Thistle, or it might be Born to Hustle. But it's also worth noting that if we do a ship name STLE, we'll find Black Castle 2, and when we did STLE $, or castle, rather castle $, we didn't find it because it ends in the 2. It doesn't end in the word castle. Can get pretty difficult in there. Now let's turn to a specific example. A subscriber emailed me to say that her search for a ship called Charles Frederick Elwell returned only a citation for a ship called Isabella. What happened? Well, let's try this. Charles Frederick Elwell. There it is. There, we searched for Charles Frederick Elwell. We got 1,890 citations for a ship named Isabella. In short, the ship name Isabella is the only one in the database which has all 3 words, Charles, Frederick, and Elwell, in its collection of citations. We could track each of these down, but since there's nearly 2,000 citations in here, it's easy enough to imagine a way in which each of these terms happens to appear in one of these citations. Clearly, though, this is not the ship that she's seeking. So there's really a better tack to take here. Search for Elwell. And as we mentioned before, we're only seeing the ships here that are named just Elwell. Know that there are many ways of representing vessel names, and many resources do misrepresent them or represent them in unusual ways. So sometimes this is caused by transcription errors, sometimes it's because of stylistic choices, and sometimes it just is because. So you might want to try to find a way to search do as many searches as you can. And one of the best things to do is click on See Other Matching Ships. So we did search for Elwell, See Other Matching Ships, and look what we found. We found Charles F. Elwell, C. F. Elwell, Chaz F. Elwell. Clearly, this is the ship that she's looking for. It's probably the same ship, each of these different ways. And we've got a couple of other things that appear here that don't say Elwell. Let's take a look at this one. Brutus. Well, let's do find Elwell. Not found here, but we have 199 citations. So let's go to the next page and try to find Elwell. And here, actually, we find a Captain Elwell, who was captain of this schooner in 1859. Go back a little bit more, and let's just look at just these. So we find C.F. Elwell from the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic. This resource is online, and we can follow that link and go to it. Then we can also go back and look at the Charles F. Elwell, and there's a variety of different resources here. And then Chaz F. Elwell and the others. Now this person is actually searching for a variety of vessels connected with Elwell and the Elwell family. And so each of these might be useful to her. And in fact, she's really lucky in a way because she's researching an ancestor who was a shipping merchant and possibly a captain right at the end of the 19th century. And you can't effectively search the database for captains in this database except for those in the late 19th century, especially in the United States. And those all come from these resources that were digitized by Mystic Seaport. So if I go to Charles F. Elwell and I look for one of these, Captain Oley, look in the directory of 1875, and I get to here is Charles F. Elwell. That's the name of the vessel. The master is Oley, and then there's more information about the owners and the vessel and things like that at that particular resource. So there's a lot that you could find, and notice again these spellings they vary for a variety of reasons. In this case, these were all transcribed. The information was recorded in person, probably initially for the initial directory, and then when the Seaport digitized the resources, things got changed. So there's many chances for errors to sneak in. Lastly, I would say, because this is a database, be sure to use it that way. Try a variety of terms just to see if there are misspellings in it. So we could search for ELWE star using that asterisk and see if anything else comes up. We don't find anything in this particular case, but or we can narrow it down a little bit more, Elwa star $, to get back to those that have the word Elwell and specifically end in the word Elwell. This is a slightly different search. It may have the same results as ship name Elwell, because there are no ship names, I believe, that don't end in Elwell. But it's a different search, and it could have different results. In many cases, especially in collections where works have been transcribed by volunteers, I was able to make a lot of corrections whenever I could find more accurate and more correct ship names. Because I was looking at the entire database, I was looking at all of the different vessels and the names of the masters and the sizes of the vessels, the tonnage. That was very useful for identifying vessels that may have been misspelled by the people who were doing the transcriptions. It was easy to see why those misspellings occurred, but they were just looking at a single page, and I was looking at the full set. So that's something you'll find a lot of corrections in the database, particularly with collections that have been transcribed from handwritten documents. Once I was in a genealogy conference in the UK, and a visitor said that her ancestors had sailed or served on a ship called the Maid of Sussex. So of course I looked it up, and I didn't find anything. So I thought we'd try some other terms. So I started pretty broadly, just started with Sussex, and then I clicked on See Other Matching Ships. We see a variety of ships that have Sussex somewhere in the name, but we also found Sussex Maid. And then looking through this, we could narrow it down to illustrations. Don't really have to click on that, but it does make it a little bit easier. And then it brought us to this fantastic photo that comes up from the State Library of South Australia. I hope this overview of advanced searching will be useful to you as you look for different ways of using all the different aspects of this database. If there's more information you'd like to learn about how to use the database or how to do maritime history research in general, please mention it below and subscribe to be notified when new videos are posted. Thanks for your time.